eat, enjoy the process, and have fun while making food, as we keep it short and sweet. So for today, what we're going to be making is some delicious, yummy-licious mandazis, which you can eat at any time. And if you're a student working, after work or after school, at times you just arrive home wanting to eat something very sweet and something that is very quick to make and that you'll enjoy. So let's get in and start cooking. We have our ingredients over here. These are 2 cups of the unga. For today I'm using this ready-baked mandazi unga. This is very simple to use and very fast, especially if you don't like very tedious processes, because actually it recommends that you only add water. But if you're like me who likes adding other extra stuff to just make it much more, to give it more pomp into it, you can add also as well. And then the beauty is that you can find it at all supermarkets in Kenya. So for our other ingredients, we have cinnamon powder. We have the cardamom powder. Here we have an egg, 1 egg. We have milk, just a glass of milk. And then we have our lemon zest, just to add that sweetness. We're all about sweetness. Making the dough for the mandazis. So first I'll put my cinnamon, then cardamom powder. Remember all the ingredients and their quantities. You can find them from the blog post link in the description box below. So we're just going to add our cinnamon, just a quarter teaspoon. Then our cardamom, which will be 1 teaspoon. Then always remember, you first mix your dry ingredients first, then your wet ingredients. To the unga, I'll also add my lemon zest. This adds more taste and flavor to your mandazis. So never forget your lemon zest. This is just grated lemon. So next I'm just going to mix it together with a spoon. And then the beauty of this unga is that you don't actually need to even add any sugar or salt. You just put in your ingredients and then you kanda and you're ready to go. So next I'm going to make my dry ingredients. So over here I have an egg. Remember to always wash your hands after you break your egg. So we're just going to give it a light beat before we add in our milk. So next we're just going to add in our milk. So next, after adding our milk, so for me today I won't kanda the dough with my fingers because I have some nail polish, and so we have to maintain our healthy standards in the kitchen. And so I'll put on some gloves I'd bought earlier on so that I can make the dough properly. So I'll just put on my gloves very fast. And then next I'll just put on my apron. The only time I get to wear an apron in the kitchen, that is when I'm making things that involve unga. If you're like me, just leave a comment below and tell me we join the same family where we just put on our apron when making things that contain unga. So I've just put on my apron. So we're just going to begin making the dough. Just about to finish making our dough. So we're just going to knead it a bit to make it much more firm. So this should be your thickness. You see it's soft, but it's not too soft, and it's also not too hard. You can still stretch it. So once you're done, we'll just cover it for some few minutes and let it just become a bit more softer, and then we begin cooking it, and so that we can feed our tummies. Yeah. So now we are done. This is our dough. It's not too sticky and not too soft, so we'll just cover it. We'll just cover it with a cloth, a kitchen cloth. Then we'll leave it for about 10 minutes, and then we'll now start making it. Yeah, so let's wait and meet me after 10 minutes, and then we'll begin our cook. Ready for cutting and rolling, cutting and cooking. So we'll first roll it up, then we cut into our mandazi pieces, then we begin frying. So I'll just dust my surface slightly and our bowl also. This is to easen our rolling process. So I'll just divide my bowl into two to make the rolling much easier, because with smaller balls the rolling becomes faster and easier. So you don't want to tire yourself. Cooking should be fun but not boring, and you should enjoy it at all times. So we'll just roll out our mandazi balls. We'll roll it to a centimeter of one centimeter thickness, because personally I don't like flat mandazis, so I prefer rolling them to a centimeter thickness. But if you love flat mandazis, you can still roll them to almost the size of the chapo, but don't make it too flat. So we'll just roll out our unga. So for the mandazis, you don't have to make sure it's very circular like the chapo ones. Chapo, that's where you have to be strict with your rolling. But funny enough, I've never understood how the older ladies, especially in the village, how they're able to roll out their chapos to become circular, like completely circular, without even any use, without using anything or even a plate to make it circular. Like I once heard from a chef during some interview, where they were saying that at times you might find like others put a plate on top, a circular plate, and cut around it and then just even out the surfaces. So for those ladies that in the country, in the village, they're very perfect in making their circular balls for chapo. So let me know how perfect you are in making your chapo balls very round and circular. Made our thickness to become like 1 centimeter thickness, not too flat, because you don't want your mandazis to also burn when you're cooking them. So next you're just going to cut them into some squares before now putting them into the oil for frying. So make sure your balls, your mandazi pieces are not too small, because you know we love eating, so make sure people get enough that they could. Wakitoka hapo wanasema we want to go back to this and so's place. So remember, once you've dusted your surface, it will prevent the mandazi dough from sticking on the surface. That's the importance of the dusting our surface. So next we're just going to cook them, and then we'll serve them up. So I've been heating up my oil, so we'll check on it to see whether it's cooked or it's well boiled. We're just going to test whether our oil is ready for cooking. So one way to test it, you can either insert one of your mandazi pieces, or alternatively you can also just sprinkle some bit of flour, and then if it dissolves, your oil is ready for use. So we'll just sprinkle a bit of flour. Yeah, our oil is ready. You can see it's dissolving into in the oil, so that means it's ready for use. You can see it's dissolving very fast, so it's ready for use. So we're just going to dip in our mandazis, and then we fry them. We shallow fry them. We are just going to put our mandazis. I'll transfer them with my frying stick into our pan. So we're just going to insert our mandazis inside and let it fry for some few minutes before we turn it to the other side. So just let it cook until it browns on the other end, and then you turn it. So as it cooks, you can just turn, make sure it doesn't burn. So we'll just turn them. And then let the other side also cook for some time before we remove them from our pan. So now these other ones are ready. So we'll just remove them and add the rest. And then once they're ready, we'll serve them for eating with our 4 o'clock tea or with your breakfast tea, whichever you like it, or even as a snack. Or as a student, you can do it the easy way, just have it also for supper. So we'll just keep on cooking the rest, and then once they're all ready, we'll serve them up. Finally, here is the outcome after cooking and enjoying the process and making sure they're very sweet and delicious. So we are first going to taste and then get to know how it is and how it's tasting like, and whether it's extremely yummy-licious and sweet to enjoy. So we'll just take one and have a bite of it, and then I tell you how it is, and when you try it, you can also tell me how you find it, or tag me on any of my social pages. I've left the link at the description box below, and tell me how you found it. So I'm going to taste and then we see the outcome. It's very sweet, especially that cardamom taste, and then the lemon, it's not too much. You can just feel the taste popping out slowly as you chew. So it's very sweet and delicious, and cardamom makes pastries just tantalicious, huh? So remember to keep it here, keep it locked. So I hope you enjoy it with your 4 o'clock tea, your 5 o'clock tea. For us, also take it at 6. Enjoy it, and also for breakfast or as supper for students or lunch. So enjoy and have a wonderful week and a blessing week, and happy cooking in the kitchen. So thank you so much, and remember to subscribe, like and comment, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.